Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and in this video I'm going to tell you why you need to buy an E46 M3 before it's too late. Remember, if you like what you see on this channel, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Like and share these videos so our channel can grow, and as always, leave a positive comment below. Always leave a comment. I'm a small YouTuber. I don't have a cameraman or an editor or social media guy. It's actually me responding to your comments, so why not leave one? All right, so we're sitting in my brand new 2020 M340i X-Drive, and it's a fantastic car. It has way better performance than my E46 M3, but it'll never be a collectible car. The new M3 and M4 were just announced, the 2021 model. You can see my reviews on that, and that's going to be epic cars with amazing performance, but you know what? It's not going to be as visceral as the E46 M3. I've owned my E46 M3 for a year. You can see my one-year review on it. I'll link it somewhere in this video, so watch to the end, and I'll link it probably at the end. And E46 M3 is one of my favorite cars, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you why you need to buy one as soon as possible. First of all, I think it's the best-looking M3, to be honest. I know, the E30 is good-looking, the E92 is good-looking, even I think the F80 looks really good with those fender flares. But to me, my favorite is still the E46 M3. Like this video if you agree, and leave that in the comments below. But I just think the proportions are perfect. I think the looks are perfect. I think it's aged so well. I mean, here in the United States, there was produced model year 2001 to 2006. So these are 15, almost 20-year-old cars, and they still look phenomenal today. Now, what's more important than looks to me, even though I love looks, and I think it'll always be popular with people buying because of the looks, is the engine. Now cars are turbocharged, they have lower red lines. Yeah, they make big power and big power from down low, but there's something about your engine singing at 8,000 RPM on your favorite back road. And here, the E46 M3 with the S54 engine delivers that in spades. You got a red line of over 8,000. You got a 6-speed manual available, with standard transmission actually, that or SMG, and you can really ring the car out. Yeah, it's not as fast as the latest and greatest M3s and M4s, but you actually get to drive the car, and you get to be in gear a little longer, a lot longer actually. If you're going to 8,082 RPM before you shift, assuming your engine and oil are warmed up, you get to stay in, you get to experience that high revving experience longer. Now with the turbocharged cars and the dual clutches and the torque converter automatics that are so fast, that's fantastic for performance. That's fantastic for getting being a daily driver, or you're getting the best lap time at your favorite track. But just ringing the car out, you just get to enjoy it so much more, going up through second. A lot of the roads I drive are third gear roads, and it's just amazing. I get to heel tone downshift back to second, go back up to third, and repeat that high revving process over and over again. This produces 333 horsepower. In isolation, it'll be pretty quick. You do notice, I mean, that car does pull to that 8,000 RPM red line, unlike turbos today, which are usually pretty dead at the top. So we have looks, we have an engine to die for. But what we're losing really soon is affordability. For years, you can get nice E46 M3s for $20,000, maybe an absolutely perfect one for $25,000. They've gone up probably $5,000 to $10,000 recently. They really are. Now, Laguna Seca Blue cars are crazy. My first one, as you know, was a Laguna Seca Blue 6-speed manual coupe, black interior, and I would love to get another one. I had a chance to buy another one for a very cheap price in the high 20s, but unfortunately, that was the 6 months I was unemployed, so I missed that one. So I've given up hope. But honestly, now that I have my Mystic Blue car, tell me in the comments which you prefer, Mystic Blue or Laguna Seca. Now that I have the Mystic Blue one, I think I actually like that better. So Laguna Seca is always going to be one of my favorite colors, but there's 1,800 of those here in the U.S. Mystic Blue is only about 700, so you're 2.5 times as likely to see a Laguna Seca Blue car than you will see a Mystic car. In fact, I've only seen a handful of Mystic cars ever. I would say I've seen maybe one or two, I think only one that wasn't mine, to be honest. All right, so these cars have gone up a lot in the last year, probably about 5,000 or so, and I expect them to go up another 5,000 next year. And be particular when purchasing one. So they used to be very affordable. Now I don't know that they're affordable anymore. I think this is the last hurrah for buying an E46 M3. I honestly think if you don't buy them in the next 12 months, you're going to be priced out of it. So this is probably the last chance you have to be particular, because once they're $30,000, $40,000 cars, people are just going to be buying them. They don't care if they have to fix them up. They don't care if they have service records. So before I bought this car, I looked at about 10 E46 M3s. And the reason I bought this one, besides being in excellent cosmetic and mechanical shape, It had a whole book of service records, and that's worth its weight in gold. That's more important than anything. Because first of all, forget about what they spent or what they repaired or what they maintained. First of all, it shows that they cared that they had that, and that's what you want. You want a car that was loved and cherished by its owner. Even if everything wasn't done in those service receipts, you have a great history of the car. You got to be kind of like a detective when you buy a car and try to find out as much information about that car as possible. And then, if you have a problem, okay, well, this was fixed, but this wasn't fixed. That was fixed, that wasn't fixed. If you buy a car and you don't really know the mechanical history, you could be wasting a lot of money because you don't really know what was done yet, what wasn't done. So first of all, it shows somebody, if somebody loved and cared their car that much to have a binder with receipts in it, guess what? They gave that car a good home, and that's the difference. There are great E46 M3s out there, like mine, and then there are basket cases out there. I would say almost at least half, if not more, are basket cases. I think very few have a stack of service receipts that have been loved by the owner. So my point is, be very particular. If you see a stack of receipts, I think you want to buy that car. So I think we're really at the end here. I really do. I've given up all hope of ever having a Laguna Seca Blue manual coupe with a black interior, sunroof delete no less. So those days are over, and I'm very happy with my Mystic Blue. And it seems like the ones that are different colors, like Phoenix Yellow, which wasn't popular when it was new at all, is now becoming a hot color, and they're selling for good money. Imola Red. It seems like if you want like the silver, the titanium silver, there's so many built in that color, I think you might be able to get a better buy. If you like silver, that's what you should get, certainly. I always like the brighter colors. But I really think this is the end. I mean, it's a rear drive, so some other good things about the car. First of all, it's rear drive. You can get it with the manual transmission. In fact, a lot of them have a manual transmission. And the great news is, if you want SMG, get SMG. I won't talk you out of it. But with your SMG car, you can convert that for a manual for, a couple $1,000s. So you don't be priced out. Now, I don't think they'll have the collectability of a car that came in manual, but that's a great way. Get a cheaper car, SMG. In fact, I would probably do that next time around. Get an SMG, convert it to manual, and I think that'll be cheaper than getting a pure manual. If you have a pure manual like mine, then keep it, because I think the value will always be there, and the value will be more than a converted car. But with the hydraulic steering, it's just an amazing car. And if you drive it in isolation, depends what your daily driver is. Like, this is a pretty quick daily driver, so the E46 M3 seems slower. But I can tell you, the E46 M3 makes this car feel huge. The new M3 is going to be 13 inches bigger than the E46 M3. 13 inches bigger. That's over a foot, right? Can you imagine that? So even though this, I guess, the 3 Series is considered a smaller car, it's not as small as the E46 M3. And when I drive this, I don't want to say it feels like a boat, but it feels like a much bigger, wider car than the E46 M3 does to me. So I think this is our last chance to buy the E46 M3. Now, you're going to have to put money in these cars, so I've always said in the video, if you buy a $25,000 car, have $5,000 to do deferred maintenance, repairs, fix things. And the comment I always get is just buy a $30,000 car that doesn't need anything. Like I said earlier in the video, these cars are 14 to 19 years old. They need something. You're not going to buy a $30,000 car that doesn't need $3,000 to $5,000 worth of work or deferred maintenance. So don't kid yourself. So whatever you save up, have $5,000 in the bank, and when you first get the car, you're going to put a lot of money into it, and then I think after that, as long as you got a good car with a stack of service receipts, it'll probably be minimal. Maybe after that you only put $1,000 a year into the car or something like that for maintenance and repairs. So that's my advice to you. If you've ever thought about an E46 M3, now's the time to do it. I give you literally the next 12 months. I think once like 2022 comes, we're going to see big prices for those cars, and some of them will be deserving, clean, highly maintained cars, and some won't, because there'll be basket cases. People will just flock through it and try to get an E46 M3. So buy now and just do your diligence. All right, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.